During playoff, hindi po tayo pwedeng magtiwala rito. Babanggain tayo niyan, depensa yan. Yun ang ibibigay nila. Kailangan kami maghanda.
I think Pampanga is the strongest team in the league. We respect them, but we definitely we will prepare against them.
Hello again, Mpbl fans. It is time for us to witness the first home game in our Mpbl 2023 playoffs in the version of our North Division semifinals as we come to you live from the Brenzigiao Convention Center in San Fernando, Pampanga. The Giant Lanterns are ready for action as they go up against Caloocan Batang Cancalo. This follows the victory of the San Juan Knights against the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards in Game 1 of their semi-final series. Gabby Espinas, who led the way in round number 1 for Caloocan, will have a tougher task as he goes with Mac Barakael in Pampanga tonight. They're gonna go up against one of the best in the league and one of the best in Philippine basketball, Arwin Santos, and of course our leading MVP candidate in Justin Balti Baltazar. The Pampanga Giant Lanterns are still undefeated on their home court in this season, and so the question is, can they actually continue with that undefeated record, as this is battle-tested versus rising power, Pampanga versus Caloocan. Thank you for joining us, folks. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Javi Palanya and Andrea Endicio. Now, Javi, we saw 4 big men. Kani-kanin na lang, no? So I want you to differentiate the quality of big men that you're expecting from Caloocan and from Pampanga, and how should they adjust against each other?
Well, for Caloocan, for Balti in particular, I want him to go to work early. We're going to discuss this further in our keys to victory later on. But he has to start early. He has to go to work early. While para dito sa Caloocan naman, they have to be consistent all throughout the game on both ends of the floor because they are facing their toughest test yet, sabi nga ng ating teaser.
Now, let's take a look at our playoff bracket. Updated na po yan dahil Game 1 belonged to San Juan versus Nueva Ecija.
Oh, what a game that was that we had. The curtain raiser to this one. San Juan 1-0 now over Nueva Ecija in their division semifinals. Bukas naman sa South, we're gonna have Bacoor facing Zamboanga and Batangas squaring off against Gensan in what is the most exciting playoffs in the history of the Mpbl.
Again, it's really hard to determine your favorite as to who can actually compete in the finals in the 5th season of our league. So just take your pick, folks, and then we'll go from there. As now, from talking about big men, let's talk about some wing men here in our semifinal series, beginning with Jeremer Cabanag of Caloocan Batang Cancalo. How impressive has he been for you?
You know, coming from a team like Bacolod last year where he has played a role to the hilt, this time he has had added responsibility on his shoulders, offensively especially, and he has risen to become the leading scorer after the end of the regular season para sa Batang Cancalo. That's why his numbers, especially his production from the outside, are vital in Caloocan, seeking a chance of getting a victory against the strongest team arguably in the league.
Was he the best player in game number 3 versus Pasig? No, he was the one responsible for sticking that Caloocan name in the picture of our playoff bracket as they advance to the semifinals. Now let's talk about Encho Serrano of the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Well, sometimes we tend to overlook this guy because of Balti Baltazar and his dominance, but Encho's numbers in this season, they're mighty impressive.
Yeah, that's right. That's how strong Pampanga is. But Encho Serrano, if you do not take care of shackling this guy, he will definitely give it to you. He will produce the numbers, and he doesn't just score the basketball. He has the ability to make plays for his teammates, get on the boards because of athleticism, and as well as lead the fast break para sa kanila. They love to do that, talking about Pampanga, because they love their defense to fuel their offense.
Well, they are the younger team in this series against Caloocan Batang Cancalo. So let's see if Pampanga will be able to run. Encho Serrano, by the way, missed game number 2 versus Marikina because he was sick, but now he's back in action as now we talk about the numbers all season long for the Lanterns in Batang Cancalo.
This is why Pampanga has been dominant all season. First in points, in rebounds, second in assists, and only 9th in turnovers. While Caloocan has made decent numbers for themselves this year owing to their veteran front line and as well as the addition of guards like Jeremy Cabanag, Achi Inigo, Irvin Palencia. All of these guys have really held the fort very well, and especially with the entry of Coach Robert Season, it has given Caloocan a different look, especially in the sets that they run. Di na sila ganun ka-predictable on offense. There's so much more variety.
Well, what an adjustment it has been for Caloocan with Coach Robert. He coached them twice in the regular season and 3 times already in the playoffs. Imagine that, more playoff games coached already for Robert Season in this league. But now we have our player matchup. I ask you this question. If you're Gabby Espinas, how should you attack Justin Baltazar?
Well, you should be patient and use your smarts in this matchup. Don't try to use the physicality of Justin Baltazar against him, but rather use your intelligence against Baltazar. You're the more experienced one in this duel, and so use that to be able to gain the upper hand against arguably, or perhaps already, the MVP candidate that we're waiting for to be awarded this season in Baltazar.
Balti and Gabby are now with Andrea Indicio.
That is right, Migs. Kasama ko nga ngayon si Gabby Espinas at si Justin Baltazar para sa ating player matchup. Unahin ko na muna itong si Gabby. Gabby, when facing the Giant Lanterns dito sa kanilang home floor, it could be very scary. Pero coming from a veteran like you, paano mo ba yun hinahandle o paano mo yun pinaghahandaan?
Siguro, ang nagpapalakas ng loob namin, yung mga boss namin, kasi grabe yung suporta nila sa amin. Sana huwag kami matambakan ngayon para maganda naman yung laban. Pero gagawin lang namin yung best namin, tsaka yung system namin.
Alright, thank you so much. Good luck to you and your team. Dumako naman tayo sa aking kanan. Justin, pinakita mo sa amin in the previous games how dominating you can be. Pero iba na ang laro ngayon. Nasa semifinals na tayo. At sabi nga kanina ni Coach Governor Dennis Delta Pineda, team effort ang kailangan. Paano mo ipapakita yun?
Siguro, as a team lang siguro, maglaro lang kami as a team and then iwas yung gigil. Kung ano man yung game plan namin, yun lang siguro yung gagawin namin.
Alright, at syempre aabangan yan ng mga Kapampangan. Mga kaliga, wag na po natin itong patagalin. Richard Dampos, take it away.
Sigal Convention Center, San Fernando, Pampanga. Welcome to Game 1 of the Best of 3 North Division Semifinals. Caloocan is up against with your Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Manny Pacquiao's Mpbl Season 5 presented by Extreme. Here are the starters. Let's carry on first. The Caloocan Batang Kangaloo. Guard number 7, Jeremy Cabanag. Forward number 8, Jaggy Laude. Playing center number 27, Gabby Espinas. Starting at guard number 29, Joko Tayungtong. Power forward number 45, Mac Barakael. Caloocan Batang Kangaloo is led by Ronnie Duhilio. Assistant coaches, Carla Nusa, Hector Serrano, and Peter Santamaria. Team manager, Mark Robert D. Tiandu. Team Governor Jeremy Tin, coaching consultant Robert Season, team owners are Dennis Flores and Caloocan City 1st District Honorable Congressman Oka Malapitan.
Happy birthday, Congressman Don Gonzales. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng tulong na binibigay niyo po sa amin at support na binibigay niyo sa team. Stay healthy po, boss, and more birthdays to come, boss. Happy birthday po.
Happy birthday po, Congressman Don Gonzales. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng suporta na binibigay niyo dito sa team ng PGL. Sana wala kayong sawang suporta. Nabibigay namin yung best namin ngayon sa papat na laro.
Pumati ng ang ating mahal na congressman. Wala pong iba kundi si Congressman Don Gonzales. Happy birthday po. Maraming salamat po sa pag-support ng team namin. At salamat din po sa lahat po ng mga natutulungan tulungan ninyo. Sana marami po kayo matulungan. At sana po marami pong blessings na dumating sa inyo. At sumaba pa po ang inyong buhay. At maging masaya pa po ang inyong pamilya. God bless po. Happy birthday again.
Happy birthday, Congressman Don Gonzales. Wish you all the best. And maraming salamat sa Pampanga Giant Lanterns. At napasaya natin yung mga Kapampangan. And natin na mga Kapampangan players nandito for the province para ipaglaban. Thank you. God bless. Happy birthday.
Your Pampanga Giant Lanterns AMG 3 Construction. Starting at guard number 2 from Soclaban, Mexico, the Royal Bazooka, Archie Concepcion. Power forward number 7, JB Bayo. At guard number 11 from Angeles City, MJ Garcia. Small forward number 77 from Apalit, Pampanga, John Lloyd Clemente. Coming in at center number 19, Apalit and Mabalacat Pride, Justin Balti Baltazar. Their head coach is Pampanga Honorable Governor Dennis Delta Pineda, team manager and team owner Aurelio A.G. Gonzalez. The third coaching consultants are Mervin Mercado and Alan Trinidad. Assistant coach Medic Di Matulak. Assistant team managers Ronald Nulud and Raymond Guevara.
Presenting the starters for Caloocan in Pampanga, we have Joko Tayongtong, Jennifer Cabana, Gabby Espinas, team captain Jackie Laude, and Mac Baracael for Batancan Calu. And then we have a different look for Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda. It's MJ Garcia, Archie Concepcion, Pauti Baltazar, JV Bahio, and John Lloyd Clemente to begin things for the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Now, before we start breaking down this game, we would like to greet a happy birthday to Senior Deputy Speaker Congressman Don Gonzales and to Mayor Along Malapitan of Caloocan. So we have two VIPs from different squads celebrating their birthday today. Ang tanong, sino nga ba ang uuwing masaya mamayang gabi? This is game number 1 of your North Division semifinal series between Pampanga and Caloocan as Jackie Laude misses. Ball rebounded by Mac Baracael. Against Bahio, Baracael misses as well. Another offensive rebound. Up top, here's Joko. Two-man game. Tayongtong to Baracael. Mac drives and feeds Espinas. Challenged by Balti. Another miss.
Those were 3 looks there by Caloocan. And all of those looks coming from inside the paint. Just unable to hit was Caloocan on that opening possession.
How about that defense by Jackie Laude? It was too much against Archie Concepcion. Now his hands were up high, but his body was near the face already. Actually, magkadikit na nga, no? Yung katawan ni Jackie Laude at yung muka ni Archie Concepcion.
But it happened to the dismay of the coaching staff of Caloocan. Coach Robert Season was in total disagreement. Whoa, great backdoor play right there. Archie Concepcion reading the overplay defense of Joggy Laude, but also give credit to the pass galing dito kay JB Bayo.
Remember, Archie Concepcion was the best player in game number 1 of Marikina versus Pampanga. He is our reigning homegrown player of the year. Just had to take a step back with the emergence and the arrivals of Encho Serrano and Balti Baltazar. Now let's break down the keys to victory for Gabby Espinas and Caloocan Batancan Calu.
Number 1 is variety is the key. We've seen Caloocan for the most part this season, especially before the entry of Coach Robert's season, that it was pretty plain post basketball para sa kanila. They dump it down to either Gabby Espinas or Mac Baracael and wait for something to happen. But upon the entry of Coach Robert's season, they have found a way to mix it up. Next is arrows up. You want your shooters to connect. Namely, Paul Sanga, Jeremy Cabanag, at Inigo. Those guys have to connect from the outside to shore up the lanes for slashers like Mac Baracael and Rael Cervantes. Last is show them who's the man. Gabby Espinas, this is the time for him to perform. If we feel that during the regular season, medyo nagtitimpi pa siya in terms of his performance, well, this is the time that he's been waiting for. He has to flip that switch. Now is the time. This is their biggest test.
And remember, he claimed that he's the man in this venue after winning game number 1 versus Pasig City here in Pampanga. How about the keys to victory for the Lanterns?
Para sa Pampanga, number 1 is go to work early. Try to dispose of Caloocan as early as possible. Save them any hope of making this game competitive. You have the tools to be able to do so, to be dominant in this game. So try to do your work early. Number 2 is win the battle inside. This is a team of 2 very talented front lines. And so if Caloocan, or Pampanga rather, is able to control the shaded area, then that's half the battle already in this one. Last but not the least for Pampanga is share the wealth. It cannot just be Balti Baltazar and Etso Serrano producing for the Pampanga Giant Lanterns in this game. You have to have guys like Archie Concepcion, MJ Garcia, and even John Lloyd Clemente chipping in and trying to dispose of Caloocan here in Game 1.
Even JB Bahio is trying to introduce himself to everybody in this game, as he would like to share the wealth as well alongside the stars of Pampanga. Here's JB off the turnover, forward pass to Archie. Concepcion hangs and scores.
And so far, JB and Archie have really been producing a good tandem in the early goings of this game. The reason why Bayo is there is because of his versatility and his ability to set up the offense without giving it to the guard. He has great court vision for a big man, while Archie, as we all know, is a very impressive finisher.
Here's Balti on the run. Balti passes. That's a foul to stop the break committed by Jenemer Cabanag.
Should have given the ball up earlier right there to si Balti Baltazar.
You saw his dribbling skills on the fast break opportunity. He did it like a wingman himself, which he did for Gilas Pilipinas back in the day.
He does it so gracefully.
Yeah. I even thought he was going to go for coast to coast. As MJ Garcia inbounds from the baseline, Irvin Palencia just made his first appearance in this game. Here's Bahio again. No good. Balti, offensive rebound and the putback.
That's why if you're Caloocan, especially because you are the older team, you have to put in the team effort in boxing out guys like Balti Baltazar.
It's now 10-4. Mac Baracael. There's the bounce. Good defense by MJ. Numbers for Pampanga on the 4-on-2. Not the best of passes right there. And Coach Robert will cancel his timeout that he initially asked from our staff.
Could have been another easy basket to push the lead to 8 points here para sa Pampanga. That could be their downfall because of their inexperience. Their immaturity might bring about some turnovers na di nila inaasahan. And that is something that Caloocan can't capitalize on because they've shown it this entire year. Especially with the entry of Coach Robert's season, an increased intensity on the defensive end. And it's not just the intensity, it's also playing defense in a smarter fashion.
Jaggy Laude told us before this game that there were a lot of new defensive schemes taught to them by Coach Robert approaching this matchup, which is quite necessary, if you're going up against the top team in the league.
Hindi na siya bara-bara. You don't anymore go by just instinct. You have schemes in play to really decide on what should happen, how you should dictate how the offense acts on their side of the floor.
Neil Cervantes just checked in for Gabby Espinas. Baseline inbound. Here's Balti. He has that shot. Three-pointer drops in for Balti Baltazar.
And knowing the work ethic of Justin Baltazar, I'm pretty sure that coming into this series, he worked doubly on those outside jumpers. He knows that's one of his Waterloos in his game.
13-4 now. Shot missed by Cervantes. Archie's on the run. Great counter defense by Irvin Palencia. Now Caloocan has numbers. They go to the corner. And that's arrows up in the bullseye for Jenemer Cabanag.
That's an excellent setup by Irvin Palencia, but a little miscommunication defensively for Caloocan that allows Pampanga to answer back right away.
Nice find by Balti Baltazar onto the trailing John Lloyd Clemente. Magkababata, ngayon magkasama muli Sa programa ni Coach Dennis Delta Pineda, Tayong Tong escapes and scores.
Tayong Tong has also stepped up in terms of production as of late para dito sa Batangang Caloo. Coach Robert Season has really put his foot down in starting Joko Tayong Tong in their games.
Bahio sizing up para ka LJB, misfires. Rebound Balti. Cervantes is really getting tested, and that's a foul on Rail.
He should know of all people because during his heyday, and I mean during the collegiate days, as we look at this setup by Irvin Valencia to Jeremy Cabanas.
This three-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Exactly what you asked from our shooters of Caloocan. Going back to your point about the heyday of Real Cervantes.
Yeah, he should know going up against a guy like Balti Baltazar because he was once one of those players that the more experienced guys had to take care of, especially early in the game. He was one of those fearless and relentless rebounders that went up for those boards, just like how Balti is doing it right now.
Now we turn you over to Andrea Endicio.
Coach Carl Anuza talked about Pampanga being a known tough team. Lalo na daw sa home court nila, they become even tougher. And so when facing a team like that, you also have to be tough. But then, there's a but, still good, especially on defense. Ang plano nila ngayon is to focus on making stops and lessen the fast break points of the Giant Lanterns. Although they need to look out for everybody, special mention syempre sina Baltazar, Serrano, Concepcion, and Orwin Santos. But then again, sabi nga ni Coach Carl, anybody can make a spark in this team, and that's how tough this team can be. Mix and Javi?
That is what has been happening in this game, as there's a foul inside committed by JB Bahio onto Junjun Bonsubre. A good act of sportsmanship though among Bahio, Bonsubre, and Palencia. Andrea talked about the fast break scoring of Pampanga. It has been working very well for them, and the damage has been coming not only from Balti Baltazar, but from guys like Bahio, Archie Concepcion, and just recently, MJ Garcia.
They really have been sharing the wealth so far. Done a good job in that, key to victory. No surprise that Junjun Bonsubre helped up JB Bayo. These are former Red Lions.
But did they actually play together in college?
Alam ko nag-abot pa yan.
Pero sigurado senior
Yeah.
si Junjun.
Upon review, it's
And
an
it is an
unsportsmanlike
foul
foul. Number
call
7,
to
JB Bayo is first. Substitution.
Bahio is a rare non-Kapampangan in this lineup of Coach Delta Pineda. From what I remember of Mika Abisames' report, he comes from Cebu and he's a fisherman there back in his hometown. He actually took away minutes from this guy, si Matt De Leon, who at the start of the season was a staple in the starting lineup of Pampanga.
Yeah, correct. He formed one half of the Twin Towers of Pampanga in that starting unit together with Balti Baltazar. And you remember that there was one game that they made into a dunk show.
Yeah.
The two of them.
Before CJ Ganya became the slam dunk champion, it was Matt De Leon who's being hyped up, no?
Yeah.
To be participating in the slam dunk contest.
In fact, I would like to apologize to CJ because before he entered the dunk contest, I didn't even know he could play above the rim.
Well, us too.
But he showed us that he could really slam it home and with great grace and beauty as well by winning that slam dunk title.
Well, for you to win it against Boy Boy Aktub, that's
Yeah.
just a big testament to your ability. It's 18-11 as Bonsubre attacks Balti. Junjun, did he travel? Yes, he did.
Whenever Pampanga is able to play disciplined defense, meaning not jumping on fakes and just staying in front, not leaving your feet, that is where they are most deadly.
MJ with a tough feed there. Didn't even reach a teammate. Ball went out of bounds. Balik tayo sa Caloocan. Irvin Palencia escaping the defense of MJ. We have under 3.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter of game number 1. Nice backdoor cut, but better hands by Balti. Archie Concepcion slowing things down. He goes to the trailing Balti. Neil Tolentino very aggressive as he scores.
Oh, he will not be afraid to flex his muscles. Look at the unselfishness of Balti Baltazar giving up the pass to the more open Neil Tolentino down low.
Neil Tolentino, as animated as he can be in each and every game, you can see that animation on defense as well. Look at him just trying to guard Jennifer Cabanag. Cervantes could have shot the ball immediately. That was a tougher shot. Forward pass. Fast break opportunity again. Tolentino lost the ball. 2-on-2. Cabanag stops and pops. Off to the left.
No, he knew it was going to miss the moment it left his hands.
20-11. Balti Baltazar against June Bonsubre. That's a foul on Joko. Now Paul Sanga and Prince Kasin will check in for the first time in the semifinals of the North. Same goes for the ultimate veteran of the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, Raymond Binuya, who, much like Orlan Lamar, started as a third-string player for his squad. Binuya nowadays is the captain of Encho Serrano, Balti Baltazar, and the rest of Pampanga. Encho also will check in. Same goes for the Spider-Man in Arvin Santos. Santos will be matched up against his former FEU comrade in Real Cervantes. At some point, tinulungan ni Arvin ang programa ng FEU nung naglalaro pa sina Real sa UAAP. Here's Arvin being more aggressive in the semis. Double team, fade away, that's short. Rebound, Binuya. Tough feed, turnover. Palencia's on the run. Palencia, there's the kick out. Paul Sanga for three. Off to the left.
But if you're Caloocan, you're happy with that setup. At least you get an open look to Paul Sanga to try and get him going as soon as he got off that bench.
Serrano is fouled. That's basket and one.
However, same happened on the other side for Pampanga. The Giant Lanterns giving Encho Serrano a lane to the basket. De Leon clearing the way for him. Encho just leaving Prince Kasin off of that pirouette on top of the three-point line.
Even though Encho was out sick in Game 2 versus Marikina, he looks to be back to 100% tonight. Free throw converted by Encho Serrano. It's now a 12-point lead for Pampanga.
Well, the beauty of these playoffs is yung agwat ng games mahaba, you know, it's almost a week. And that's why that gives a lot of the players who are injured to recover and recuperate.
And also, Pampanga was given another day of rest, at least game day of rest, because Caloocan reached Game 3 versus Pasig City. But moving forward, we're expecting a lot more rest for our teams. Next week, ang schedule po natin, Friday, Saturday, no? Wala tayong games on Monday and Tuesday. As Encho Serrano works up against Prince Kasin. Something fell on the floor. Maybe something attached to the players. As Serrano passes, almost a turnover. There's a foul.
That's going to go against Binuya.
And he doesn't know about it. Na he pushed, no? Itong si Irvin Palencia at the last second. That's going to be a good matchup in terms of being pesky.
And Raymond Binuya is one of the true epitomes of shock trooper.
Oh, yeah. He's well known in Pampanga for being just that. As Binuya almost got the steal. Now he just forced the charge. Right on cue.
And he just gives that call back to Irvin Palencia, who also forced an offensive foul on him just a possession ago.
Imagine if both Raymond Binuya and Neil Tolentino turn on the jets and pressuring the offensive players of Caloocan. It's going to be hard for Batang Cancalu to just bring down the ball.
They might not even see the half line.
Here's Binuya against Palencia. They swing it over to Encho. Serrano has 9 to work with. Encho lost Kasin. Serrano passes. Binuya is blocked, but he was fouled as well.
You gotta appreciate the courage and the bravery of Raymond Binuya to just go up strong without any qualms of being blocked. He just went up, tried to give Encho Serrano or repay Encho Serrano with that thrust when he was past that basketball.
First free throw for Binuya is no good. In terms of Raymond Binuya's presence in the playoffs, I hope a lot of people remember that last year when Pampanga lost to Nueva Ecija in Game 2, which happened in San Juan, Raymond Binuya was supposed to be the best player of that game. He, alongside Archie Concepcion, just steered the way for Pampanga to try to fight for a victory against the Rice Vanguards. But then again, our defending champions were just too much for the back then very young Pampanga Lanterns without Balti, without Encho, and without Arwin. It's 24-11 with 30 seconds to go before the end of one. Palencia goes to Cervantes against his FEU Kuya in Arvin Santos. Cervantes with a turnaround shot. That was too strong. Ball tapped away in favor of Caloocan.
Now, these two guys just are a testament to how well the FEU program has done over the years.
Cervantes back at it again. 3-second differential. It's a foul on Arwin.
That's going to be the last foul to give for Pampanga.
Baseline inbound again. Paul Sanga. Also a product of FEU, inbounding. 13 seconds to go. Virtually no more shot clock here. Donnie Matias will fire for 3. That's too strong. 5 seconds for Binuya. Can he make something out of this? Tolentino all the way. No good. And so we wrap up our first 10 minutes for Pampanga and Caloocan. The Giant Lanterns are looking good in this matchup.
Well, Pampanga using everything to their advantage. Really reading the matchups well. JB Bayo came in, started this game, put in some work on the glass and as well as setting up his teammates. Archie Concepcion had his moments as well in that opening period. A total team effort, if you ask me, for Pampanga in that first period.
They were able to run, right?
They were able to run. Well, not really get the ball in transition, but more so to attack the shaded area. That's been the brunt of the offense for Pampanga. MJ Garcia doing a beautiful job at that point guard spot so far.
After one, the score is 24-11. Back inside the Brent Zigiao Convention Center in San Fernando, Pampanga, where we are featuring Gabby Espinas and Arwin Santos, a battle between two former San Miguel Beermen in the semifinals of the North Division. The Giant Lanterns taking on Batang Kankalu, and they are up ahead by 13. They're looking to stay undefeated on their home floor in the season. It's Binuya working with Encho Serrano. They also have Sangalang, Santos, and Apolonio on the court. Arwin fakes. Arwin passes to Jason. Apolonio for 3. Too strong. Rebound Binuya. It ends up with Sangalang. And that's 2 free throws for Louie.
You see how Pampanga is so loaded athletically in every position. Even guys like Raymond Binuya are able to get up there to get those rebounds.
This free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Louie Sangalang arrived late in the season, but as soon as he came in, he's been very effective as a power forward, complementing Balti Baltazar. Now he has to come off the bench again because of the emergence of JB Bahio and the arrival of Arvin Santos.
What a mix of players this Pampanga Giant Lanterns have in their roster.
25-11. Prince Casin looking for Gabby Espinas. Lefty versus lefty. Espinas backing down. Espinas spins and misses. One guy ahead. Forward pass. Encho on the chase. And he lost space.
But you know, one thing that binds a lot of these Pampanga players together is most of them have been winners in different levels of their careers.
It's a good point. That's why I'm sure they would want to be winners in the Mpbl as well. Pampanga hasn't won a championship in this level. In fact, nobody has repeated in the Mpbl in terms of winning the chip. As Ronnie Matias misses, rebound to the Spider-Man. Tanggalang will tie his shoes. Let's see if Miruya can wait for him. No, he can't wait for him anymore. The losing time. Shot clock is at 12. Tanggalang is now trailing. Here's Binuya. If you think about it, they were actually able to wait for him as Raymond misfires. Forward pass to Paul Sanga against Arwin Santos. No foul, but there's the conversion.
And not every time you see Paul Sanga setting his eyes on the rim and going hard to the basket.
You think he could have been motivated by the presence of Arwind as well?
Could be, but other people will be intimidated.
Oh, what a fake. That's the slowest fake and dribble pull-up in the Mpbl by Arwind Santos.
Former UAAP MVP, former PBA best player of the conference. It's going to take us a while
Serrano
to talk
made that
about all
moment.
his accolades. What Pampanga team is just so loaded.
The score now is 30-13. Boy, we gotta get a second look of that Arwind Santos fake. Look at this. This is in slow-mo. So mas babagal palalo. Ganyan po kabagal yung fake and dribble pull-up ni Arwind Santos. Wala pa masyadong talon, but he was able to make that three-pointer.
He even had time to look at Gabi Espinas rather, and here was a steal by Enzo Serrano. That's practically goodbye once he picks it up on the passing lanes. Hard for Ratsi Inigo to stop that.
We have a timeout. It's a 17-point advantage.
You are still watching the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League live on MPTV. Coach Governor Dennis Delta Pineda shared to me their biggest lesson in the previous round against Marikina, and that is the value of keeping their best defense all throughout the game. Lalo na daw ngayon na puro veterano na ang kanilang makakalaban, bawal daw bumitaw sa depensa. To secure the win, Coach Gov says team effort ang kailangan. Balti is a big factor, but Balti can adjust. He can be a decoy, he can assist, he can do so much more than take over. Ang worry lang daw niya is the fact na andito sila sa home court nila ngayon na sabi niya has its own advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantages would be the fact na lahat gustong kumuntos. Kaya paalala niya, importante ang opensa. Pero ngayon, magpakitang gilas kayo sa mga Kapampangan gamit ang depensa. Back to you guys.
Well, nagpapakitang gilas nga itong Pampanga Giant Lanterns in both ends of the floor. I'm actually curious as to how many minutes Balti will see for the rest of this game because everybody else is playing well.
Even Arvind Santos.
Here he is, top of the key. No good. Offensive rebound for Pampanga. Rebounding story natin at 17-5. What a big difference. Serrano scores again.
Pampanga, whoever has that basketball, as long as they get it inside that blue area, making mincemeat of the Caloocan defense.
32-13 now. This follows the victory of San Juan versus Nueva Ecija. That pass was too strong and too high for Gabi Espinas.
It's like defensively, Caloocan not even trying, at least in the past few possessions. You look here, Jacob Galicia, one-on-one coverage against Encho Serrano. That's too easy for a scorer as gifted as Encho. And offensively, the defense of Pampanga has really held down what could be any production from the Batang Kangkalu.
And Coach Robert and Coach Toto have been looking for the best substitutions. Now they have stretched all the way to the third unit to find answers. As a foul is called on that cut by Raymond Binuya. So Nachi Inigo as Peter Manalang will check in. Same goes for MJ Garcia. By the way, I want to welcome back Peter Manalang. This guy has struggled with a ton of injuries. Recently, merong inoperahan no sa kanyang arm. The forearm, yeah, that's the way to describe it. As Balti returns for Arwin. Ngayon palang babalik si Balti Baltazar with a 19-point lead already for Pampanga. Here's Encho staying aggressive. Jennifer daring him to attack. They go to Apolonio. Jason bounces onto Sangalang. Louis, he will shoot this. Straight away, three-pointer.
If you're Caloocan, if we play the percentages, that's the best shot Pampanga would take. However, Luis Sangalang has also been working on that shot of his from the outside, especially top of the circle. That's his favorite spot.
And there's the favorite spot on the other end by Gabby Espinas, who scores in the basket and one play. But the efficiency all game long has been a tale of two extremes. As you take a look at that feed onto Gabby. Caloocan's only shooting the ball at a 6 out of 21 clip, near 25%. But as for Luis Sangalang and company, they're now at 14 out of 21, which is at 67% efficiency.
I tell you, these guys are just walking cheat codes on the floor. If you're playing a video game, you might as well type in Pampanga and you will win the game.
35 to 15 with under 6 minutes remaining before halftime. Sangalang, handoff to Encho. Serrano, his turn to fire. Too strong, rebound Cabanag. Caloocan built some momentum for themselves. Espinas on the reverse.
This is a good stretch for the Batang Kankalu.
On the other end, Sangalang was all alone.
Sorry, I spoke too soon.
Uh-oh, Manalang and Sangalang went at it. No whistle blown there.
That's already the third time that happened in this game. After a Caloocan basket, Pampanga rushed to the other side to get an easy bucket.
20-point game. Peter Manalang drives and kicks. Parakael fires and scores.
Now you're seeing the offense starting to hum already for the Batang Kankalu. Now it's the defensive side that they need to work on, and I'm sure Coach Robert Season and Coach Toto Trujillo will touch on that in this timeout.
It's actually a bit ironic because that's what they worked on the most in their preparations versus Pampanga, as Andrea mentioned and as told to us by Jaggy Laude. Let's see how they can respond down by 18. Babalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. As we thank you for joining us on Pilipinas Live, Facebook, YouTube, Signal Play, and on 1PH. We are being broadcasted in the whole wide world as we give a shout out to team owner and manager of Pampanga, A.G. Gonzalez. Happy birthday to Senior Deputy Speaker Congressman Don Gonzalez. Shout outs as well to City Councilor Brenz, Senior Board Member Mika, Mayor Rudin of Mexico, Governor Dennis Delta Pineda, the coach of Pampanga, Vice Governor Lilia Nanay Pineda, Board Member Mylene Pineda, Mayor Philip Nugget of Binalin, Pampanga, and Athletic Sports Apparel. We would also like to greet a happy birthday to Mayor Along Malapitan, who I'm sure is praying hard right now for a Caloocan comeback as they're down by 18 points. Halfway done in the second frame of game number 1. And this follows the victory of the San Juan Knights against the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Much like how they did it last year in the North Division Finals. Here's Balti backing down. Gabby Espinas, Baltazar scoring.
I'm surprised they're not throwing any different coverages at Balti. It's purely one-on-one defense. That time it was Gabby Espinas who tried to defend Baltazar at the post.
Let's see if Gabby can answer back. Same goes for Mac Barakael. Here's Cabanag on the pick and pop. Barakael all alone. He could not convert. Ball tapped and recovered by Achi Inigo. Cabanag working and scoring off the glass.
Of the offensive rebound, long board going to Achi Inigo, who resets to Jeremy Cabanag and initiates the ball screen action from Mac Barakael.
Now here's Ronan Santos, another big man of Pampanga, backing down on Mac Barakael.
You could argue even Ronan Santos, a starting caliber player here in the league, who comes off on the third unit already for Pampanga.
Oh, he had a Best Player of the Game award at some point of the season. It happened in Bulacan versus Bulacan, where they had a dunk show in the Star Arena. Here's back Barakael, facing up against Ronan. 4 on the shot clock. Barakael is fouled. Oh, Balti just telling Ronan Santos, taas mo ng kamay mo. This is how you defend on the low block.
Well, he sees that there's really no need to do these kinds of things because they've been so successful in just staying in front and making sure that their hands are up to challenge. Nothing more.
Sa lagi na yun, may luxury ka na nga na nasa likod mo si Balti for the help defense. Inside scoring natin 28-10 as Cabanag misfires. And here comes MJ Garcia. Man down, it's JLC. He's fouled by Peter Manalang.
That's good heads-up recognition right there by John Lloyd Clemente to recognize that it was Manalang who picked him up after he crossed half court and saw that he had the advantage right away.
41-21. Balti Baltazar fakes against Gabby Espinas. Clemente tried to post up again. Wild pass. Gabby's hurt. What happened there? Now Balti's going to approach him. Maybe apologize there. There you go. Good act of sportsmanship between Gabby Espinas and Balti Baltazar. Do you feel for Gabby?
Yeah, I mean, it's really very difficult to keep its step with a guy like Balti Baltazar. I mean, I could imagine if Gabby were 10, 15 years younger, this could be a different story. But obviously, right now, Balti has the advantage. He's taller, he's longer, he's now more athletic, and he's younger.
Right, that's why you can see Gabby Espinas gasping for air as he tries to match up against Balti again. Caloocan with possession here, down by 20. 3 minutes to go before halftime. Concepcion's hounding Cabanag. That's a tough matchup for Jennifer as well. No good on the turnaround. Rebound Santos.
If you try to watch Gabby's games when he was still in college with PCU, you could see that he would be all over the place, grabbing those rebounds, going for those putbacks after misses from his teammates. But obviously, it's not the same case here today, especially against a physical specimen, at least in the Pinoy sense, like Balti Baltazar.
And correct me if I'm wrong about this, but back in his PCU days, he was teammates with Jason Castro, right?
Exactly, and Bo Belga.
There you go. But I want to focus on Jason Castro, who at some point was known as the best point guard in Asia. In that PCU team, Jason wasn't the star.
Gabby was the star.
Gabby was the MVP.
Because Jason really emerged during his PBA days, but Gabby was the face of that PCU team.
Balik tayo kay Real Cervantes against the taller Allen Liwag. So Liwag adds to that long list of big men as Espinas did not travel apparently, and he scores.
That should have been a walk.
Pampanga complained for a bit and then they decided to let things go. After all, they're up by 18. Clemente with a good look. That short rebound, Cervantes. Manalang would slow things down. Peter against Archie Concepcion. Here's Gabby Espinas. Given some space by Ronan Santos. Going to Irvin Palencia. Kick out. Archie Inigo's turn. 4 on the shot clock. Pass inside. Espinas. Tough move. No conversion. Ang hirap. Kita mo, no, kung gaano kahirap.
The execution was there. You really saw the conscious effort for them to get into Gabby Espinas down low. That was actually a very difficult pass made by Achi Inigo. Just a difficult angle to work with for Gabby Espinas on the catch. You saw how he had to carve out space and yet still wasn't able to get a good look. He actually shot it without looking at the basket.
Right, and these are the third string big men of Pampanga. That's Allen Liwag and Ronan Santos, both taller than the big men of Caloocan. MJ. Ooh. Archie had the ball, dribbled on the line. It's a backcourt violation.
This is literally a battle of the big men of today and the big men of yesterday. More traditional big men in the sense for Caloocan and the modern day bigs for the Giant Lanterns.
It seems like the modern day bigs are definitely dominating this one. As Cervantes misfires. Rebound to Pampanga. Bit of a scramble there. A minute and change to go before halftime. There's MJ Garcia. Screen by Allen Liwag. MJ will drive. That's his strong side. Too strong on the layup. Liwag, still no good. Another offensive rebound. Allen will feed. And that's an easy two for Ronan Santos.
Pampanga's not even running anything yet, but just by sheer athleticism and aggressiveness, they're able to get baskets on their own.
Points in the paint. Now at 28-12 in favor of Pampanga. Cervantes makes a three-pointer. He's going to need to do a lot more of those.
That's a big basket to at least stop the drought for Caloocan. It's been empty possession after another for the Batang Kaloo. Look at this. Good feed by Liwag, locating his fellow big man, Ronan Santos, for that short stab. And Rel Cervantes all alone near the top of the circle for that three-point shot.
We have a timeout. The score reads 43-26. Back inside the Ben Zigia Convention Center, I want to greet Ced Peñaflor, who is one of our Mpbl players, watching from Angeles, Pampanga with Bossing John Tang. Gandang gabi sa inyo. Right now, JLC and the rest of Pampanga are dominating. They're up by 17, 43-26. All 15 players have played already for Coach Dennis Delta Pineda, and 11 of them have scored. On the other end, all 15 have played for Coach Robert Season, but it's really more of he's looking for the right combination. And he still hasn't found the right one so far. 8-second differential. Allen Liwag, almost a dribbling violation there. No basket. And here comes Caloocan, ideally with the last possession before halftime. Valencia attacks. There's the feed. Bonsubre, no foul called. Rebound Archie. Ball out of bounds. Referee pointing Pampanga's way. Are we still going to play this? Now, there seems to be a technical issue with our buzzer inside the venue. It looks like the referees will have to review. Oh, no more. That's it. So we are at halftime. There you go, folks. Done with the first 20 minutes of game number 1. Pampanga's up by 17.
You can see so far here in the first 20 minutes of action how difficult it is for Caloocan to set up their offense. They may get some open looks here and there, But overall, the intensity of defense of the Pampanga Giant Lanterns has made it difficult for the Batang Kankalu to gain some semblance of comfort in getting points on the board.
Pampanga looking to stay undefeated on its home floor. The score at halftime is 43-26.
Kapag may labay nagkakaisa, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na, MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag-3 points na. Bawat bayay di matatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na, MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas, at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Ang bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na! Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, Pilipinas Basketball League. Sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na, MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag-3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na, MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, at Mindanao. MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, at Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
We are back inside the Brenzigiao Convention Center in San Fernando, Pampanga for game number 1 between the Giant Lanterns and Caloocan Batangkan Caloo. Currently, Pampanga is up by 17 points. As first, we take a look at Sean Bagang. And rightfully so, with his last name, everybody's reaction to his half-court shot is Bagang as well, as he sunk that half-court three-pointer to earn himself a motorcycle presented by Suzuki. That's what you have to love. With your dedication as a fellow Kapampangan watching the games, you give yourself a chance to win something else. And Javi, I'm pretty sure the numbers will explain the difference of this matchup.
It actually speaks for itself. Pampanga shooting 60% compared to just 33% para dito sa Batangkan Caloo, out-rebounding them in that department, a plus 15 in terms of grabbing boards in this game, plus dominating the paint as well, 28-12. But just like in our first game, when Nueva Ecija was up after the first half, turnovers is the part of the game that Pampanga needs to address. They are at 11 turnovers after the end of the first half, and going into the third and fourth quarters, they want to minimize this and make sure that they go into their offense without any rush. They're up big, They don't need to make rash decisions.
I like that you reminded us about our first game today between San Juan and Nueva Ecija. San Juan trailed by as many as 14 points in the third quarter, but they won the game as they were able to do something like what they did last year, winning game number 1 versus Nueva Ecija. Let's see though if Jennifer Cabanag and the rest of Batangan Caloo will be able to provide answers for us in the second half. He leads the way for the white shirts with 7 points. Gabby Espinas has 6 on the other end. It's been well balanced. I'm even gonna mention everybody else in the list for Pampanga. 14 players have scored. Everybody except Carl Sampang. And of those 14, 14 have played and 11 have scored for them. So that's just the variety that has come for us from the Pampanga side. Great for them to deliver in front of their home floor as they continue to be undefeated here in the Bren Zigiao Convention Center. Pampanga will begin with Archie Concepcion, Raymond Binuya, Encho Serrano, Balti Baltazar, and JB Bahio. On the other end, it's Irvin Palencia with Joko Tayongkong, Real Cervantes, Mac Baracael, and Jennifer Cabanag. 2 misses to start the third.
That was too easy para kay Archie Concepcion. Good thing that Concepcion wasn't able to convert off of that curl from the cross screen in the baseline.
Here's Balti. Pampanga has been dominating inside the paint. Baltazar could not score. Rebound Palencia.
And they continue to play Baltazar single coverage. I haven't seen any double teams happening yet when Balti gets it on the low block.
Here's Cabanag. His 3-pointer. Way off there. Rebound to Serrano. And here comes Encho. Bumped by Palencia.
Not really sure about that foul. That could have been easily let go.
That's 2 fouls now for Irvin Palencia in this game. He was key in game number 3, right? Versus Ryan Costello.
He really got into the head of Costello, forcing the ejection, passing stop gun.
Baltazar backing down. Now he's fouled. It's been a long night for Real Cervantes and the rest of the big men of Caloocan.
Now it makes you wonder how long Caloocan is gonna be flashing this kind of defense on Balti Baltazar. Do they continue to play him single coverage and hope that he gets tired of attacking from the post? Or will they show him different looks? Will there be double teams coming, triple teams? Or any other more special schemes to be able to try and stop Balti from producing?
Balti just hit the second free throw. He's up to 9 points, 6 rebounds to his name. He averages 18 points and 17 rebounds per outing, which is why he most likely is. We are 99.9% sure that he's going to be the MVP in this season. As Palencia spins and misses, but he was fouled.
Palencia is first 2 handles of the basketball in this third quarter. He has decided to attack the basket and not involve any of his teammates. These free throws might get the offensive game of Caloocan going here in the third quarter. Remember, they were also down by almost as much as 18 points during their regular season meeting before they stormed back to the second half.
That's right. They trailed by as many as 21 against Pampanga, but they only lost by 8. 44-28. Archie Concepcion bounces to Balti, and that's the first Balti slam in the semifinals.
And you can bet yourself that wouldn't be the last. We've seen so much of those slams this year. It has been such a treat for the Kapampangans.
Arvin Santos is now jumping up and down on the bench. I wonder if he's trying to hype himself up for a possible dunk later on. And Jennifer Cabanag answers back.
Yeah, because Balti has had so many dunks this season, I'm pretty sure that everybody would really get up on their feet when Arvin Santos actually throws it down.
Yeah. Baracael for 3. In and out. Sorry, miss. Balik tayo kay Raymond Binuya. Almost a steal. Encho Serrano. His leaner is short. Rebound to Batangan Caloo. Here's Valencia on the move. Valencia passes. Tayong Tong. He was stripped.
Oh, that's good hands by Binuya and Concepcion. Could have been an easy turnover for the Batang Caloocan. You see here, Serrano going down the lane and then locating itong si Balti Baltazar. That's too easy.
The other end, Cervantes trying to back down Balti to no avail. Balik tayo sa Pampanga. Binuya. Here's Encho taking his time. 14 on the shot clock. Two-man game between the two best friends. Serrano, no bounce, but there's the putback. It's going to be converted by Balti Baltazar.
Due to the numerous misses up front, this should have been already almost a 25-point lead for Pampanga here in the third quarter.
Baseline inbound for Encho. He goes to Balti. Couple of fakes. Balti just towering over everybody. That's an easy pass to JB Bahio.
He just puts the ball high up where nobody can reach it. Just waits for somebody to be open. That time it was Bahio cutting through the middle, making himself available for that shot.
See how many assists Balti has already in this game. That's 3 times for him. As Cabanag misses, rebound Baltazar, and here he comes. Balti playing point guard. Bahio will miss. Balti on the putback.
He just cleans up the mess, but the control and the vision as well, bringing that ball into their front court, just impressive for a guy who's as tall as Balti.
Baltazar now has 13 points and 11 rebounds as Archie Concepcion goes down. He was hit by Mac Paracael. It's a charge.
Illegal screen set there by Baracael as he tried to free up Jeremer Cabanag. We haven't seen a lot of variety on the offense here for Caloocan.
Gabby Espinas will return for Real Cervantes. Neil Tolentino will check in as well. He's going to replace Archie Concepcion. It's been the Balti show so far in the third frame. Remember in the first game I brought up the all-time starting 5 of Kit Jimenez. Have you ever thought of your own all-time starting 5 in the Mpbl?
I've had some players considered on my list, but I haven't gotten down to finalizing it. Balti Baltazar would like to finalize the outcome of this game already.
Is Balti a part of your list?
Definitely. If you don't make him a part of your list, that is pure and utter blasphemy.
Unless you're more of a historical type of guy.
Yeah, could be, but I mean, with the way that he's been playing this year, it's hard not to include him because he's been putting up historical numbers and he may just do that for years to come.
Oh, he's the first guy to average more than 15 rebounds per game in a season. As Bac Baracael just scored, Arvid Santos now checks in for JV Bahio. If I may share, I've thought about it. My own starting 5 all-time in the Mpbl. Since I've covered this league for so long already, syempre, andun ako sa medyo historical side. That's why Markey would be my number 1. He's the GOAT for me. John Wilson would be my second GOAT. So he's my small forward. Then I would go back to a couple of so-and-so called alamats that we have in this league. Jeff Yernes would make my list because of what he has done to dazzle the crowd, not only in the All-Star games. Remember what he did in the mid-season for Sarangani, giving Nueva Ecija their first loss with his record breaking 50 points. He would be my point guard, which would bump off JC Marcelino to my 6th man. I would put in Michael Vigo as my 2. And then, to your point, I just could not put Balti out of the list. So he would be my 5. As Arwin tried to toy with Vince Casin, no buzzer beater there. It is a 24-second shot clock violation.
Oh boy, I have to say, that definitely is a pretty formidable 5. And that really checks a lot of boxes in terms of the history made of each player, the production, and their significance, not just to the teams that they played for, but for the league in general.
That's why we do encourage the current and future Mpbl players to also find a home in this league. Much like the story of Orlon Omar, you never know, you might actually give yourself a good career in the MPBL. As Encho misses, rebound Gabby. Numbers here for Caloocan. Can they capitalize? Casin attacks and scores.
I just went all the way to the hoop. Surprised he did not set up Mpbl, but I'm sure he read the advantage on that drive to the basket.
Serrano goes to Arwin. Ooh, that high-low eventually worked. The ball ended up with Neil Tolentino.
That was intended for Baltazar, but it fell right in the hands.
That's why Neil Tolentino's laughing his way down the court as he was backtracking. Look at him play defense.
He's just like a leech.
Yeah. And, ooh, that's almost a steal. It's a foul on Neil.
It's really so hard to go up against a guy like Neil who already possesses those physical abilities, being long, quick, as well as explosive, at least laterally. And you couple that with the desire to stay in front of your man. That makes it so difficult to get past him defensively if you're the offensive player.
Ball tapped away by MJ Garcia. He almost got the steal as John Lloyd Clemente, not John Lloyd Cruz, will check in. Sometimes it really bothers me because his nickname really is JLC. Bigay na lahat sa kanya. Oo, magkamukha sila. Shout out to you, John Lloyd Clemente. Sideline inbound. Here's Irvin Palencia. Here's the professor, Jackie Laude. Ooh, that's a charge. Sorry, no, a defensive foul on Neil Tolentino.
Now this quarter, very crucial for both teams. For Pampanga, it would be how they would take care of the lead. For Caloocan, are they going to be able to trim this down to a deficit that is manageable heading into the final period?
20-point game. Palencia will go to Prince Casin. Down low, it's Gabby Espinas against Balti Baltazar. Espinas almost walked. Tough rebounding sequence there. And here comes John Lloyd Clemente going to MJ. Garcia will fly! Up, up, and away.
He really loves jumping off 2 feet.
Kumbaga, bahala na, no? Just get yourself up there, lay the ball up.
Yeah, more than gathering and going with that 1-2, he likes that 2-foot jump. There you go.
How about the extension as well? I hope someday that MJ Garcia can do something like that, but with a jab.
That would just be phenomenal. And I'm sure it would get everybody here on their feet, just really shouting.
Again, in the words of Encho Serrano, and I'm sure a lot of people have witnessed it, the slam dunk king of Pampanga is CJ Ganya. But he does have a lot of competitors. If you want to think about a local slam dunk competition for the Giant Lanterns, Harvard Santos might even have a say on that. As MJ drives, there's the kick out. Santos for 3. Yes, sir.
That's too easy, and Mpbl should have known better. He's seen that for so long. And to leave a guy as you try to go help side, like Arwin Santos open for a 3-point basket, that's kind of a mortal sin, especially after he hit one earlier in the first half.
You know what I want to see from Arwin in the MPBL? His jump shot of a 3-pointer. Siguro set pa lang siya, no? Kalmado pa si Arwin. Well, with no defender near him.
So he's trying to let the game come to him. He hasn't been in competitive basketball or hasn't played competitive basketball for quite some time before he joined Pampanga.
There's Arwin Santos. He made his debut in the quarterfinals versus Marikina. He actually made 2 3-pointers as buzzer beaters in games 1 and 2 respectively. Hindi nga lang game winner dahil tampak naman na yung mga laro, pero buzzer beater po yung mga yon.
And now we're seeing him get more playing time from Governor Delta Pineda. Obviously, they really want him to be incorporated as much as he can into the way Pampanga does things.
Well, the way he started this game, I thought he was going to go at it with the big man of Caloocan as Arwin fakes and attacks. There's the feed. Tolentino, no good on the layup. And here comes Irvin Palencia.
Well, if you're Pampanga, at least you're happy that Arwin is now more engaged. He's now more active. He's putting the ball on the floor. He's going for those rebounds and he's trying to set up his teammates.
Kailanganin niya rin yung buwelo, no?
Yeah.
Especially if they advance to the North Finals, they will face either San Juan or Nueva Ecija. And with no shot at Marikina and Caloocan, let's face it, San Juan and Nueva Ecija, when you go up against them, it can't be chill at all.
Definitely not. These are teams that know how to win, teams that have winning culture. Therefore, you gotta be able to stay aggressive from the opening buzzer until the final tip.
59-37, Jaggy Laude goes to Ache Inigo. Pinapalabas si Paul Sanga, who will fire at the corner. That's too strong. Rebound, Ronnie Matias. Ronnie backs down on Arwin, then he scores.
They're just going back and forth here in the third. This 20-point lead has been maintained by Pampanga all throughout this period.
Here's Arwin, this time from the mid-range. Yes.
Feeling more and more comfortable with that shot from the outside. A couple of threes and now a 17-footer from Spider-Man.
I started to think, with that jumper, does he have a chance for best player in this game if he continues? Well, he's gonna have to chase the 15 points and 14 rebounds of Balti as Espina scores. Under a minute to go in the third quarter of game number 1. Here's Luis Angalang. As you mentioned, it's been back and forth in the third frame, which means Pampanga will gladly take this. Tolentino escapes. Nice layup.
You know that there's something definitely wrong with the way you're doing things defensively when a guy like Neil Tolentino is able to get the straight line drive to the basket off one-on-one defense.
Now that's a turnover. Tolentino's on the run. Tolentino all the way. You think
back-to-back baskets for Neil Tolentino?
You think this could be a bit of a reflection of the fact that Caloocan has a new coach? He's only a couple of games in.
Yeah, and you know, you could also argue that coming in, he didn't really have much test for his coaching. He went up against teams that were at the bottom of the standings. And that's why this is the toughest that they have to face in his time. Short stint with Caloocan.
Let's see the numbers of Balti Baltazar. At halftime, he had 8 points and 5 rebounds. So in the third quarter alone, he had 7 points and 9 rebounds. 3 assists and 3 steals as well for Balti Baltazar, making it almost impossible for Arvin Santos to be the best player of this matchup. The score after 3 is 65-41. Presenting our Suzuki muscular and sporty fans of the game, just like the Avenus, do more and achieve more with the muscular and sporty scooter from Suzuki, the Avenus. Oras na para magmotor. I'm trying to see kung sino yung nasa 1x1 or 2x2 picture sa likod ng cellphone ni Madam. That could have been the indication as to who she is supporting in today's game. Maybe Enzo Serrano?
Could be.
kanina nung nakascore si Encho, pinakita rin yun, no? Yung girl na yun.
She's wearing a Pampanga jersey. Let's try to see what number she's wearing. I think
tama.
it's 18.
And then it's Encho.
Kasi katabi niya naka-18 eh. That could be Encho's dad or maybe Tito.
Oh, that's right. Tama, magkaiba lang sila ng kulay ng jersey.
That was not Caloocan basketball. Tumatawag tayo lang din. Gusto sa kilit pumunta. That's what's your head. Put your head in the game. Nag-start tayo. Ano? Doggy. Binigyan agad natin ng backdoor si Concepcion. Passing error. I told you, nakasalalay sa inyo umpisa. I reminded you. Yung Pampanga will come out strong.
We are about to begin the fourth quarter between Pampanga and Caloocan. Thank you for joining us. This is Mix Gomez alongside Javi Palanya and Andrea Enviso. Encho Serrano will fire. That's in and out for him. Again, this has been a game wherein both coaches have pulled both of their benches onto the court. Luis Angalang just drained a three-pointer.
You just saw the quarter scoring on your screens. Pampanga already scoring above 20 points twice in this game, while Caloocan has failed to get past the total of 15 points in every quarter that we played. Let's see if this fourth quarter will be a different story.
68-41, Paul Sanga misfires. Matt De Leon got the rebound. He's one of the three players who have yet to score for Pampanga as Encho flies and scores.
And those are the little things, if you're Caloocan, that you need to address coming into Game 2. You got Encho Serrano going downhill with the basketball in his hands, and all three white shirts have their backs facing the ball.
70-41, Paul Sanga. He's fouled by Encho, who tried to avoid Paul Sanga already, to no avail. Let's see the numbers of Paul though. He only has 2 points. 1 out of 4 from the field, 0 out of 3 from downtown.
His only basket was the fast break play earlier wherein he challenged Darwin Santos.
That's right, it happened in the second quarter. As Paul Sanga proceeds to the line, this free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Paul Sanga is a part of, let me count this, 10 players who have scored for Coach Robert Season in this game. Si Nomer Gonzalez na lang, hindi pa nakakapaglaro para kay Coach Robert. But a ton of players haven't scored. In Jackie Laude, Achi Inigo, Peter Manalang, and Jacob Galicia. The other end, let's see if Matt De Leon can score. Same goes for Jason Apolonio. The other guy who hasn't scored is Allen Liwag for Pampanga. This is game number 1 of the North Division semifinals following the victory of San Juan versus Nueva Ecija. Game 2 will happen in Palayan City next week, folks, so watch out for that. As Paul Sanga makes a three-pointer, his first in this game.
Now, I know there's still so much time left to play in this game, but for Caloocan, right now, what they should think of is just going back to their game plan. How do they want to do things? It's now all about rediscovering the habits that you should be doing in this quarter to be able to make this a very competitive series.
That's basket and one for June Bonsubre. We're seeing a bit of sign, no, from that Caloocan offense.
1-on-1 in the post against Luis Angalang. Letran versus San Beda. And Beda getting the better of that matchup so far. Bonsubre has struggled to get points up on the board in this game, save for that basket.
He's now up to 4 points so far. Itong si June Bonsubre. Carl Sampang, by the way, just made his first appearance in this matchup. Let's see if he can put some points on the board. Balti's about to return. So his campaign is not yet done for tonight. He has 15 points, 14 rebounds, 3 dimes, and 2 steals to his name. How about the distraction by the Pampanga fans with their drums? It actually worked. 70-49, MJ Garcia. Oh, nice fake by Balti. Give and go, MJ, short. Loose ball foul, it's on MJ Garcia.
And that's why I said during the start of our coverage, and one of the keys to victory for Pampanga, it's sharing the wealth. Nasabi na rin ni Andre in one of our reports earlier that because they play here on their home floor, everybody now has that conscious effort to try and score and try to impress their fellow Kapampangans. But you're now in the division semifinals. Stakes are much higher. This is not a regular game. And you're going up against a very seasoned roster in the Caloocan Batang Caloocan. So you have to be able to push all the right buttons and make sure that when you play, it's not all about just making your fellow Kapampangans happy by scoring the basketball yourself. You now need to think about the team and how you're going to win ball games.
Well, we have seen 23 assists from the side of Pampanga compared to the 17 of Caloocan. That's 23 out of the 30 made field goals of Pampanga. Although we also have to count the free throws here. They have made 5 free throws. As Garcia misfires.
Garcia's taken a lot of shots here in the second half.
NJ is at 2 out of 6 from the field. Bonsubre is fouled by Balti. That's the 3rd foul of Balti Baltazar. Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda opting to allow his star to remain on the court as this 3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Well, Balti, in terms of minutes played, is up there in the league. He's number 1 in terms of being used on the floor. And remember, even in the All-Star game, hindi siya pinagpahinga ng buong second half. Ganun po kaseryoso yung All-Star games natin sa MPBL. Na nakapag-witness na tayo ng 3 comeback. 2 dun panalo, no, sa ating All-Star outings.
Pero dyan mo rin naman ma-appreciate yung value na linalagay ni Governor Delta dito sa ating liga by really giving a lot of exposure to his star awards in Balti Baltazar and Encho Serrano. Alam nila na hindi basta-basta ang MPBL and that they would have to play their best, and to play their best, they should be able to showcase their best talents, and that's Balti Baltazar and Encho Serrano.
As Jennifer Cabanag just made a 3-pointer, I like that you brought that one up because that makes me think. Last year, we saw Nueva Ecija set the bar high for everybody else. They told the league, this is us. Wala kayong magagawa. Malakas kami. We have a good coach. We have all the talent in the world, undefeated in the regular season. You adjust. And so, teams like Pampanga have adjusted. That makes me wonder, next year, how can the other teams adjust to the Giant Lanterns?
That's why things will only just get better from here, Migs, I'm telling you.
You are still watching the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League live on MPTV. Coach Robert Season pointed out na ang nakita daw natin in the previous 3 quarters is not Caloocan basketball. They came out flat at hindi daw niya naramdaman ang presensya ng kanyang mga key players. Kaya naman ang request niya sa Batang Kankalu, put your head in the game. Aminadong nagulat sila sa performance ng Pampanga but it's time to recover. Sa katunayan, tinanong nga ni Coach Robert ang kanyang mga bigs if it's time to convert their single-man coverage against Balti to a 2-man coverage and they all agreed to it. Dagdag niya, don't look at the score. Focus on making stops and strengthening our defense. Back to you, Mix and Javi.
Nanonood kaya ng High School Musical tong si Coach Robert Season?
Baka.
Gusto ko yung ganong instruction, ha? Get your head in the game. Put your head in the game. Let's see if Pampanga, or sorry, if Caloocan can actually pull off a comeback here, because they trailed by as many as 29. Now they're down by 18. As Monsubre kicks that ball out. Ronnie Matias with a tough move. Just went nowhere.
He tried to get a pass to Junjun Monsubre in the last moment, but Monsubre was telling him, take the shot.
So we go back Pampanga's way. Here's MJ Garcia. Balti trying to seal. Look at that battle. Referee Jonald Belnas just had to signal some arms flailing about. I wonder what the call would be here.
They're going to try to review that last play, but I don't think it should merit any more than a personal foul. It was just two players jockeying for position. And there definitely was a lot of holding down by Junjun Monsubre.
They all took their turns, no?
Yeah.
Balti.
At most, this could be a double foul. But I don't think this should merit an unsportsmanlike foul.
So this time, it's the turn of Jun Bonsubre. Kanina nakita natin si Gabby Espinas, Bill Cervantes. Has Ronnie Matias tried? I want to see that.
That's going to be some matchup as well. We all know how Ronnie Matias can still defend the big men of today.
And he's the very definition of an enforcer.
Oh, yeah.
There's Balti Baltazar. Against all the enforcers in the Mpbl, he has prevailed as the top guy in the league. Again, folks, the winner of this series, this best of 3 series, will face the winner between San Juan and Nueva Ecija for the North Division Finals. Watch out for that other series because, boy, the rivalry continues to grow for the Knights and the Rice Vanguards. They're just going back and forth.
Yeah, and what we thought was going to be an easy victory already for Nueva Ecija.
Foul number 16,
things
June
around in the second half and
first.
in the end
Warning
game.
on Justin Baltazar for
I
unsportsmanlike
want to emphasize
behavior.
on this. Last year, San Juan beat Nueva Ecija in Nueva Ecija. So the revenge game for the Rice Vanguards happened in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. It was a personal foul. As this time around, the victory of Nueva Ecija or of San Juan against Nueva Ecija happened on the road. So imagine the storyline and the emotions of every Novo Ecijano when we go to Palayan City next week.
It's going to be raucous for sure. I'm very excited to be able to cover that game. I'm sure that every Rice Vanguard player will want to exact revenge on San Juan, especially playing on their home floor.
3-pointer made by Paul Sanga. So the hope is still alive for them as they trim the lead down to 15 with 4.5 minutes to go.
This is definitely not yet over. Pampanga is not yet out of the woods.
The biggest lead was at 29 for the Giant Lanterns. Here's Archie Concepcion. He drives, escapes, and scores.
So much instances in this game wherein the initial defender either gets beat or falls down, that allows guys like Archie Concepcion to get to the basket and get buckets for themselves or make plays for their teammates.
Monsubre. Bit of an unconventional fake there. Then a miss by Cabanag. Rebound to the Spider-Man. 72-55 under 4 minutes. Pampanga doesn't seem to be rattled at all with this run by Caloocan. High-low. Balti, nice idea. Ball tapped away and it's a turnover.
That's the problem when you're a team as strong as they are. Even with your opponent slowly starting to trim down the gap, you still remain as chill as you've been. That could be a blessing and a curse for you going down the line.
That's a good point. Come the North Finals though, or even the National Finals. Or let's see, maybe Caloocan can give us a good answer in game number 2. As Archie drives and misses. Almost a turnover there. Here's Palencia going to Paul Sanga, who will definitely fire, and he scores again.
This is now shaping up to be a very different story here in the 4th quarter. This is just a 14-point lead for the Giant Lanterns.
This is what happened, right, in the regular season. Humabol din ang Caloocan.
That's correct.
They only lost by 8 to Pampanga after being down by as many as 22. Let me check that. 21 yung biggest lead noon. Foul on June Bonsubre. Let's see what happened here.
There you see Irvin Valencia pushing the basketball on the break for Caloocan and locating Paul Sanga. Arvin Santos do not gamble to chase down Sanga from the corner and instead waited for Enzo Serrano to try and challenge that shot to no avail.
Paul Sanga in this season averaged 10 points per game. That's in the regular season. And the shooting percentages, 36 and 34. Okay na ba yan para sa'yo?
Yeah, I mean, for a shooter like Paul Sanga, that's pretty decent. But you would expect him to put up those kinds of numbers or even surpass it, especially here in the playoffs. Lalo't lalo na, isa siya sa inaasahan ng Caloocan Batang Kankalo. He's not merely playing the 3-and-D role anymore. He's one of the veterans that Coach Robert Season expects to deliver, especially in situations like this.
Well, he has been delivering recently. That's why the lead has been trimmed down to 14. But now a foul is called on Achi Nigo as he was trying to muscle out Enzo Serrano. Third foul on Achi. Sideline inbound for Enzo. Pasok dito si Joko Tayongtong. Singit ko lang, no? Si Richard Galang, kasama natin sa biyahe. May pinapabate. Sina Cyro and Agape. Ganda gabi po sa inyo. Happy viewing. And we hope that you are enjoying the action as there seems to be a technical problem. Maybe about the clock. Alright, so just to recap, San Juan beat Nueva Ecija a couple of hours ago. Tomorrow, we begin the South Division semifinals with Sadel Tupas, JB Gayoso, and Gianna Llanes in Bacoor. And just as how Javi wasn't able to answer about his favorites in the South, ganun po katindi, no, yung mga matchups natin with Bacoor taking on Zamboanga. And Batangas will be going up against Gensan. I myself can't even pick a favorite.
Yeah, and you know, we've had some conversations also with casual fans of the Mpbl. Even they have really different views about how our playoff matchups will go here in the division semifinals. Other people are saying that Bacoor may be the weakest link in the South despite being the #1 seed.
We're not gonna name drop who told us that. 72-58. MJ Garcia is currently enjoying a 14-point advantage alongside the Giant Lanterns of Pampanga. We have 2 minutes and change to go in game number 1. As we welcome you back to our North Division semifinals series, here's Joko Tayongtong working with Junjun Bonsubre. Tayongtong, it's a 2-pointer for him.
So this is just a 12-point lead right now for Pampanga. They need to score here to gain more cushion here against the Batang Kagalu, who seem to be on a groove the past few minutes.
Balti scores on the other end. Now, Caloocan, yes, they have been trimming down the lead, but they've been doing it in a slow manner, right? Do you want to see them press?
Well, obviously, that was far from Coach Robert's mind here in this game, because Pampanga got to work early and really established a huge advantage in the game. That's why, like what I said at the start of the payoff period, that don't think about the score anymore, but more so think about how you should set in the proper habits to make this series, not just this game, competitive. And that's why I think Coach Robert Season has not anymore burdened his wards in this game to try and make a big run with a very tiring pressure defense, just like we've seen them during his entry to this team.
So it's just about playing it right as of this moment, with 40 seconds to go. As Archie Concepcion misfires, rebound Palencia, one guy ahead. Ronnie Matias passes on to Paul Sanga, who fakes and makes a 3-pointer. He's up to 17 points, just like that.
This is the only time that Coach Robert instructed his boys to pick up full court. Really too late right now.
Yeah. Don't even have a shot clock remaining. 10 seconds, and that will do it for game number 1. And congratulations to Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda and the rest of Pampanga, giving this birthday gift to Senior Deputy Speaker Congressman Dong Gonzales. But we still want to greet a happy birthday to Mayor Along Malapitan. Big shout out to AG Gonzales as well, the team owner and manager of the Giant Lanterns. And so we conclude today with a victory for San Juan and a victory for Pampanga.
And just like how it's been, the top-seeded teams getting their victories. Well, San Juan is actually number 6 para in the north. So it was an upset earlier para sa kanila. But Pampanga dominating early on and sustaining the lead despite the comeback by Caloocan here in the 4th quarter. And to nobody's surprise, our best player of the game is Justin Balti Baltazar. Another dominant performance offensively and defensively. He just really dictated the pace of the game almost single-handedly, especially when Caloocan was threatening to come back.
At some point, we were hoping for Arvin Santos to keep on piling up his points, but his 8 points and 4 rebounds are nowhere near the numbers of Balti Baltazar. Imagine those numbers of 17 and 14. Those are below his season averages of 18 and 17 per game. Just pure dominating fashion again for Balti, who is now with Andrea Emicio.
First of all, congratulations. Simula pa lang ng laban na dominate yun na agad ang laro. At kahit binigyan mo kami ng double-double, nakita pa rin namin yung team effort. Paano nyo ba yun pinalabas ngayong gabi?
Siguro maganda lang yung namin, yung scout namin sa kanila kasi matagal kami na nag-prepare kung sinong makakalaban namin. Yung Kakalu, mas marami kaming time na yun, maganda yung namin, yung team chemistry namin, maganda game plan namin. So yun, maganda yung pinakita namin ngayon.
With this team effort na sinasabi ni Coach Gov, sa tingin mo, ano pa ba yung kailangan yung gawin o kailangan yung ipakita sa Game 2 to close out the series?
Siguro, kasi itong fourth quarter, pangit yung fourth quarter eh. So, kailangan namin, hanggang dulo, dapat i-push pa rin namin yung sarili namin. Kailangan hindi bababa yung lamang namin.
At aabangan namin yan sa Game 2. Ngayon naman, meron ka bang gustong batiin o pasalamatan?
Unang-una, nagpapasalamat ako kay Lord sa panalo na binigay nila, panalo ngayon. Kaya sa mga Kapampangan na sumusuporta, maraming salamat. And happy birthday kay Congressman Dong Gonzales. And sa tito ko na nag-birthday si Ninoy Baltasar, kay Jeffrey Baltasar, kay Oliver Baltasar, and sa mga pinsan ko, and kay team owner manager, Boss AG Gonzalez, City Councilor Brenz Gonzalez, Senior Board Member Maika Gonzalez, and sa asawa ko, kay Risha Baltasar, and sa anak ko, si Zeus, and kay Papa Ed. Yan.
Thank you so much. Once again, that is Justin Baltazar, our best player of the game. Back to you, Mix and Javi.
Thank you, Andrea. Just another day at work for Baltazar, able to get that victory by 11 points against Caloocan, Batang Kankalu. Javi, your thoughts?
This is definitely a statement win for Pampanga, showing their absolute might in the opening game of this series. But this is not a sign for them to relax at all, because I'm sure Caloocan, especially with what they showed in the fourth quarter, will be back with a bang in Game 2 to try and equalize the series and force it into a Game 3.
Unfortunately, unlike what happened in the quarterfinals, Caloocan will not be able to get home court advantage because Game 2 will happen in Palayan City, Nueva Ecija, for Arwin Santos and company versus Paul Sanga and his teammates. Still a long way to go in the division semifinals. We mentioned the shuffle that happened in this game for Coach Robert Sison and for Coach Dennis Delta Pineda. Let's see in the next game kung anong formula nga ba ang gagana para sa kanila. As tomorrow, we will have our games in Bacoor, Cavite inside the Strike Gym. It's Batangas versus Jensen, followed by Zamboanga versus the Bacoor City Strikers to begin our South Division semi-finals action. Again, it's hard to pick favorites in the South, maybe as compared to the North. But let's see a lot of action about to come our way, with Jensen just recently defeating the Muntinlupa Cagers in 3 games. Jervy Cruz should be returning for game number 1 versus Cedric Ablaza, who just returned as well for Batangas City as he teams up with his best friend Jexter Apinan and the rest of the squad of Coach Cholo Villanueva. And then of course it's Bacoor versus Zamboanga. As now we turn you over to our press conference.
Good evening everyone. Welcome to Mpbl post-game press conference. Congratulations Coach Governor Delta Pineda and our best player Justin Baltazar. Coach, na-dominate nyo yung buong game in all aspects. Lamang kayo sa takbuhan, sa shooting and rebounding. Coach, sa tingin nyo, kaya na bang tapusin to in tong series na to sa Game 2?
Gagawin ho namin lahat ng aming makakaya para matapos po namin sa Game 2. Sana paboran po kami ni God sa Game 2 natin.
And Gov, you have a great start. 24-11 agad in eventually, tinampakan nyo. Pero nung fourth quarter, nanlamig in eventually, napaganda pa ng Caloocan yung laban. So medyo disappoint kami ba sa ending nyo for game 1?
Kasi kung titignan nyo, kailangan kong bigyan ng confident pa rin yung ibang bata. Tapos galing sa bench, malamig, papasok. And then, kailangan ko rin i-rest yung iba. Kasi hindi lang naman to yung game namin. We still have 3 more games, diba? 1 or 2 games more. Kaya, kailangan ko i-manage yung mga bata and giving confident naman dun sa iba.
Justin, wala pa kayong talo these playoffs at wala pa kayong talo sa home court. Gaano kalaki ang tulong sa inyo yung pagkakapanalo nyo lagi dito sa home court?
Siyempre, bigay ng crowd namin. Sobrang grabe yung suporta na binibigay nila sa amin. So yun lang, sinusuklihan lang namin, maganda yung pinapakita namin ngayong game na to.
Rob, kanina sa interview kay Senator Jinggoy, he is eyeing for the fight of San Juan, Pampanga. At talagang pinoprofile nilang maigi yung performance ng tao mo. Sa mga susunod na laban, kamukha nitong San Juan, nanalo kanina. Paano nyo tinitingnan yung performance din nitong mga nagiging matibay dito sa playoff round?
Actually, ang focus namin talaga yung 1 game at a time lang muna. Kung sino yung next game namin, ayoko munang panoodin ng South, ayokong panoodin other teams. We need to focus on Caloocan muna. Kasi kung iintindihin namin yan at hindi pa tapos tong series namin, medyo problema yon. So, stay focused lang muna kami dito. Dito lang muna kami. At bahala na kung suswertihin kami at sino suswertihin sa kabila. Doon na lang kami may mga days naman to prepare para importante mabigay sa amin tong second round. Makuha sana po namin.
Reality speaks, itong laban nyo kanina,